Right now, there's fighting in the center of Rabotin. Russian troops are advancing in the Rabotin area. At this point, they've managed to straighten out a control line 5 kilometers long and about 1 kilometer deep. In Rabotin itself, fighting is happening near the ruins of a school in the town center, which allows shooting into the surrounding area. If the Russian units can maintain control of it, the armed forces of Ukraine will be forced to retreat. They'll have to withdraw to the northern outskirts of the town. Russia's eastern armed forces have pushed the enemy out of several strongpoints near Verbov, forcing Ukrainian formations away from the Kryvyi village. In addition, they've regained control over the village of Shiroka. Here too, the enemy was forced to retreat under the pressure of the Russian troops. Overall, that's the situation for the Ukrainian group. The situation isn't the best. Personnel shortages and the success of the Russian armed forces to the south of Marinka is forcing the distribution of manpower in various directions, preventing the Ukrainian army from concentrating its forces for a counterattack. Meanwhile, in the zone of the special military operation, intense fighting continues along the entire contact line. In the Lyman direction, Russian troops are clearing the territories of the remnants of the armed forces. In the Bakhmut direction, Russian units continue their offensive towards Chasiv Yar. The heaviest fighting is taking place in the area of Bogdanovka, as well as on the eastern outskirts of Krasny. Since the early morning, intense battles have been going on for the liberation of the village of Krasny. Our troops have entrenched themselves in the area of the northern outskirts of the village and are advancing further. The Russian armed forces are advancing on a section of roads leading to the northern part of the village of Krasny. The enemy is putting up a desperate resistance, trying to prevent such a scenario. As of now, the Russian military is utterly destroying Ukrainian positions. To strengthen their defenses, the Ukrainian command is moving more troops to the area. In the meantime, Russian forces are striking the temporary deployment locations of the Ukrainian armed forces. One of such targets was hit in Drushkovka. On the Avdiivka front, Russian troops have dug in the eastern part of Lastochkin and are engaging in combat in the center of the village. Meanwhile, in Avdiivka, they're still attempting to clear out the remaining Ukrainian soldiers. Fighting in the Kherson region continues in Krinky. A few dozen Ukrainian soldiers remain in the village. The enemy is bombarding it with artillery and drones from its side of the river. Landing parties from both sides are active on the islands, and the Oleshkovskaya pesky training ground was hit by HIMARS while Russian soldiers were training. On the Zaporizhzhia front, the fighting continues in Rabotino, with the enemy engaging in mobile defense and ambushes. The Russian armed forces operate in small infantry groups, giving hasty reports to the top about the conquered settlements. Our troops are delivering blows deep into the enemy's defense, enemy using bombs and aviation. South of Marinka, the Russian army is advancing near the village of Pobeda. Most of the village is occupied by our troops. The armed forces of Ukraine are being pushed out from nearby farms. The fight for Novomikhailivka is on. In the Avdiivka sector, battles are taking place in the steppes and Povomaisky. At Lastochkin, our troops are extending the offensive front. In the direction on the clock, the Russian army is advancing near Bogdanovka and Ivanovskoye. In the Krasno-Limansky direction, battles are taking place near the village of Terny. Another day of our assault on the village of Pobeda has passed. The enemy attempted to support the Ukrainian army units defending Pobeda. Heavy battles continue even now. Ukrainians are trying to bring up reserves, but we keep on rolling forward. Our movement continues during the day, and at night I will try to inform you in time about the halt in the Pobeda settlement.